Good morning, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for all those people who have already joined. It is awesome to see you here.
Yeah, we're just giving it just another minute or two to get started. Just see if more people join, and yeah, we'll get started as soon as possible. Can you guys see us and hear us okay? If you could just confirm that for us, that would be great.
The live chat should be available, right, John?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
can drop a little message on the chat zone.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Jacqueline.
Awesome. All right, you want to get us started here, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for another webinar. This is very exciting. Yeah, today we just have a preview of some ideas and updates that we've been working on for our platform. These are still in the pipeline, so it's just a preliminary idea. So we're just looking to hear your thoughts, and you feel free to jump in at any time during the presentation. So, if you have any questions or any comments, just drop them in the chat. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. So yeah, feel free to bring them into the discussion. Andrew is basically going to take it from here, and he will be, just presenting that to you guys, all of these ideas. So yeah, feel free to take it from here, Andrew.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. Yeah, I think that's really important is, we're hoping for this to be kind of like a feedback session. It'd be great to get any insights you may have. John's going to be fielding the questions, so please write any thoughts or comments or questions in that chat, and he'll kind of be hopefully stopping me, and we can kind of address anything live during the call. This is us pitching some new ideas to you guys, and yeah, your feedback is invaluable because it really does go towards us confirming that what the direction we're taking is going to be valid and useful and valuable to the people who use the platform. So yeah, please don't be shy. Please drop us your thoughts. That would be really great. Okay, so let me get started here. So we've been conducting what's called customer discovery over the last 2 to 3 months. If you were one of the people that we've met with, you would have been through that with us. If you're interested in jumping on a one-on-one call with us in the future, please express some interest. We'd love to kind of jump in just a feedback session with you. Those little sessions that we've been doing with people over the last 2 to 3 months have been driving the next round of innovation for the platform. So we've identified a few different areas that, that we've sort of highlighted as being important to the next steps for the platform. They include a potential rebranding. AI integration is another area. So it's obviously really hot right now, and how we can potentially be using AI to help on the platform as well. Employment opportunities is another zone we want to be kind of touching on. As a company, we're kind of born out of the COVID-19 pandemic, where it was all remote access, contracting type working arrangements. But as we become, everyone's, the last year or two started to go back to offices, and sort of a new norm has started to develop. Employment has become more and more the benchmark again for engaging with people to bring them onto your team. So yeah, employment is something that we're now looking into, how companies can employ people on the platform. SaaS, so as we built this platform, I mean, we eventuated from a service industry kind of business model, but we find ourselves now building this platform, and software is becoming more and more relevant, and providing software that is useful to the people who use the platform has been identified as a key aspect we should be looking into. Increased user autonomy. That's a really interesting one. I mean, and it kind of goes with the rebranding as well. Like, we've created this kind of strong brand, and, people have joined the platform, and, the brand kind of oversees, the whole existence of the business and the people who kind of use the platform. But what I think our future is kind of handing more and more autonomy over to just the people like you guys who are using the platform, and having this kind of brand step back, and kind of just enabling the platform to support users. So just giving you guys more freedom to do your own thing, and providing you the tools to do your own thing is probably the direction that we're looking to take. Becoming a network. So, we pivoted from being a service-based industry, sort of B2B, to being, to building this platform, to kind of becoming this IT company. But now, as we've built that, we've realized that, we're starting to create this kind of network, where companies and people can connect and work together, and we're going to be kind of reinforcing that network effect. API integrations with other tech companies such as QuickBooks has also become relevant, and just becoming more mobile friendly finally. So let's go to the first one here. So rebranding, AI, and the new zone. So currently our website experience kind of looks like this. We have this, what we call sort of the marketing website, which is on the top left up here. This marketing website then essentially leads on to the platform, and it's very heavily branded. Us being CAD Cow, we love the brand, we love kind of the good vibes that it gives, but we are kind of thinking that it doesn't necessarily represent us properly anymore, and us as a platform now doesn't represent the kind of service-based industry, or the very niche industry of architecture and interior design that kind of CAD and CAD Cow represents. And another thing is we want to be pushing the platform a little bit more. So maybe the marketing website no longer serves such an important purpose. And just to maybe sort of give you a bit of a feel of what the new branding and the direction of the platform kind of would look like is.
Andrew, maybe just before you proceed, I just wanted to welcome the new people who just joined us. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time. We also already have a question from Mike. He's just asking, who would we consider as a competition in this space?
There's lots of big players in the market. I mean, you've got freelancer.com and Upwork. We're even starting to think kind of, as we move into this more platform network business model, that LinkedIn is potentially sort of our competitor, as ridiculous as that might sort of sound, but we sort of would, I suppose, start competing in that same space of kind of having people's profiles, which is similar obviously to LinkedIn. But I think the direction we take with some of the software integrations would be completely different. And as you'll see, we've kind of got these, the enabling more autonomy for the people who use the platform, enabling them to sell their services, products, skills in any way that that you would like to be doing is the direction we're going to be taking. So although those bigger platforms, do that type of thing. We do it in a slightly different way, and I hope we're going to be a little bit maybe more people friendly or user oriented, and like these customer discovery sessions that we do where we're genuinely taking on people's ideas and your feedback and driving that innovation based around that, I'm hoping is going to be what stands us apart from some of this competition.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so I'm just going to progress on here and give you a little feel for maybe what the platform could look like. So as you can see, we've sort of done away potentially with the marketing website, and it would lead straight to the platform, and it would be a lot more pared back, minimalist environment. We're working on potentially this new brand, and that's probably going to be in another customer discovery session, is actually the brand itself. But this is the kind of vibe and feel that we're going for. You would kind of enter into this zone and be greeted with this very simple, minimalistic sort of title homepage here. And this is the beginning potentially of how artificial intelligence could be brought into the platform, where the first interactions, would be with AI, where you can start to have a conversation about what brings you to the platform, how the platform can best help you. And that would, for instance here, maybe a client comes here, just says like, I'm looking for an architectural technologist with Revit proficiency, and it would start asking relevant questions and trying to kind of dig down into how the platform can best serve that client that's landed on the platform. In this particular case, maybe it can start, showing profiles of people that best match their current needs. And on the left-hand side here, as you can see, we've got some new zones. So that first kind of dashboard, there's a social media zone. I can use my pointer here, can't I? We've got a people zone. Interestingly, the people zone is basically what the platform is currently. Like, it's just the people zone. It's just the database of people, independent contractors, looking for opportunities. That's all the platform is right now. So all these other zones are new zones. Another big thing, and that, as we come out of, COVID, and we're moving more and more into diversifying the different ways in which people can work together, a simple map view would be very powerful. So if you're looking for people in your area, currently that's not available on the platform. That's something that John and I and the team help clients and users find each other in particular areas, because we have that information on the kind of the management, our professional and client relations management software. So it's sort of behind the scenes, but yeah, having that at the forefront of the platform is important. Some sort of social media zone. So there's no way on the platform now, and this kind of reinforces the network that we're kind of evolving into, just simply being able to share your work in some way on the platform so that other people can get a feel for it. The only way you can do that right now is just to head to people's profiles and go to their portfolios and view their portfolios. But it might be interesting to enable people to create posts that could not only be added to their profiles, but also to this larger community in a social media kind of feel. Coming back to the people, so yeah, we're kind of just, this is the platform as it currently stands.
Yeah,
so
but I think there's a
zone.
fundamental, and sorry to interrupt you, Andrew, but it's just like currently professionals or the people on the platform cannot interact with each other unless it's a client or a company, right? So I think that's another fundamental we're sort of expanding, is just allow people to connect with each other and communicate
network,
and create this network. Yeah.
And companies as well, like the companies who use the platform are kind of anonymous right now, but there's there's potential for companies to see value or to obtain opportunities as well for themselves using the platform. So having company profiles is something we want to build. And then finally, opportunities. So I can go into this in a little bit, but it could be opportunities about employment. It could be opportunities about projects. It could be one-off kind of contracting opportunities, but just essentially a way in which companies and people can post about different opportunities. So just going into the social media zone a little bit here, everyone knows how to use social media these days. The sort of the basics would be there where you can post new content, you can leave comments, you can follow other people, you can save content into different libraries to refer back to later. And one of the unique kind of features here is that a user would have one string of posts, and you could go back through that string of posts by sort of scrolling to the right. And then if you scroll down, you can see the posts of other people. So you wouldn't have to necessarily go into someone's profile to then see more content. It's kind of a bit more of a fluid user experience. One of the interesting things we're wanting to do, and this kind of stems from us being architects, is that it would be really nice to be able to draw or to mark up or to communicate via the ability to draw. So it'd be nice to have comments, and as part of that, you might be able to draw as part of your comment. So you could click on someone's comment, and they might have left a little drawing about what their thoughts are about this maybe particular project. Alternatively, you can maybe ask questions of the community as well, like, how do I do this particular detail, or where do I put a vapor barrier or something, and people could actually physically kind of draw in, okay, this is where I think I'd do it. And it gives this kind of, visual language or visual communication that architects and interior designers and designers in general are very familiar with doing, this idea of marking up ideas. And yeah, let's go to user and company profiles. So our current user profiles look like this on the left-hand side. The portfolios are hidden into a separate tab here, and we've never really liked that. The cool visuals about people's work is kind of hidden behind the text. So what we're looking at is moving to something more like this, which enables those pictures and visuals to come to the forefront. So if I go into the new profile layout that we're considering, is that all that information is kept on the left-hand side about companies you've worked for, experiences you've had, qualifications you've had. The portfolio PDF widget is at the front. Underneath that could potentially be your social media feed. So that's where when you visit someone's profile, you can just see the social media that they've been posting, and underneath would be these project tiles, which we already have as well. And this idea we've got here about the URL comes back to the brand taking a step back, and the people having more autonomy and kind of coming to the forefront of the platform. The custom URL. So you could potentially have your own URL that would be in this format, is what we're trying to do, where it could be your name with platform.com. And obviously platform is this new brand that we haven't confirmed yet. So you could share or have ownership over your space. Did I see a question come through there, John?
Yeah. Maybe you can wrap up this thought, and I can add that comment to the discussion. Yeah.
Okay. And another thing is maybe you've got your own URL. So let's just say I have andrewcraigmanson.com. I could then have that completely owned by me.com revert to my profile. So I can use my profile in a much more effective way professionally to kind of really represent myself, and it's completely void of the brand of the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike is just adding another question to us. So yeah, just if we can expand on the collaboration aspect within the platform. So he's asking, can I control my time, budget, etc.? Are there any tools that could help with that?
Yeah, we're going to be pitching some project management software, time tracking software, invoicing as well. That's all going to be later in this presentation.
Yeah.
Another thing as well is enabling people to create company profiles. So right now it's very separated. So we've got people as a user group, companies or clients we call them now as a user group, but we kind of want to blur those boundaries and enable everyone to have their own individual profile. And then if you have a company, doesn't matter if it's a large company or just your own sole practitioner kind of company, you could create a company profile. It would have the same kind of thing as well, where you can claim your URL. So, it could be andrewdesign@platform.com, or you could link your own company. It could be, I could have andrewdesign.com and it could link to this profile. So in some ways, we are picturing, a very easy and effective website builder potentially in a way that is then fully e-commerce integrated. So if you're selling services, selling products, it could just be a very simple option for you. Rather than having to kind of build complex websites elsewhere. And the company profile you create would look very similar to your individual profile. It would have information, sort of general information and descriptions about the company. Potentially, you could link the people who are involved, like the owners of the company. If you're an employee of the company, you could be linked to that company. You could have a PDF portfolio, showcasing the company's work. The company could have its own social media feed and also project tiles. And this is where we're kind of getting into this extended e-commerce type experience, where we want to build these shop fronts into people's profiles as well, and company profiles. So as a company, for instance, here, you could be selling, let's just say, residential design consultation, and people could be purchasing and booking time with you via this shop front. You could establish different services such as site measure ups and be offering those services, and having an e-commerce environment, which is pretty unique for the architecture industry to have this kind of e-commerce experience. We're all very used to just sort of doing custom invoicing and doing fee proposals and things, but to have like an e-commerce environment is kind of a new idea, I think. Subscriptions. So let's just take a look at that. So currently, when you sign up to the platform, you can join for free, or you can choose to support us via a monthly subscription of a variety of different options here. That's one of the ways in which we help drive the development of the platform as a revenue stream. Is kind of like a Patreon kind of experience, where you can support us via these subscriptions. But we're looking to formalize that now, where all this software and added features, you can access a free profile, build out your free profile, but then add on different paid features in a more formal subscription builder. Now, one of the things John and I are really passionate about is, we dislike how companies or platforms bundle things together. Like they might bundle a whole heap of features as like a basic pack and a pro pack and an enterprise pack. And some of those features you do and don't use, but we really want to break it all down and enable you to just be like, okay, all I want is maybe the time tracking features. I'm going to turn that on, and custom invoicing. I'm going to turn that on. And the idea would be that it would be free for 1 month. So you can do a free trial, and then you would start paying if it turns out that it is providing you value after that. Oh yeah, and I had a second slide here to sort of explain that a bit more. So there's individual subscriptions and company subscriptions. It would be slightly different products and features available, but the concept is still the same, where you really just can select exactly which features and software that you want, and it's not bundled all together. Hiring. So let's move into that. So the current options for hiring people on the platform kind of, looks like this, where it's either, you can hire people by the hour, and we call that on demand, or you can pre-purchase a package of hours. And basically it's an independent contractor relationship. As I was touching on before, we're looking to expand into employment. So what it could potentially look like now is there's this hire button in the top right-hand corner, and that would then enable companies to choose whether, do I want to employ this person or do I want to contract with them? That then breaks down into maybe it could open up an employment offer type dialogue with that person, where a company could say, okay, yeah, I would be interested in hiring you full-time. This is sort of the salary range. Any comments and feedback? Maybe it's a remote, hybrid, in-office type working arrangement, and submit that to you as a person for your review and approval, and to continue the discussion about that potential employment offer. Or you could go contracting, and that would open up another pop-up where you could select the similar features that are available now, either via like on demand, which is the hourly rate, or a package of hours, or maybe even a fee proposal. So a company might say to you, okay, I need a 3D model done of this house. My budget is $1,000. Are you interested in helping me with that opportunity? And another thing we want to, kind of put in the hands of you guys is the ability to just completely specify your own hourly rates. Right now, our system is limited in that we try to guide people on, okay, you have this much experience, the hourly rate should be in this ballpark. That's kind of what the market is willing to pay for someone of your experience, and try to kind of guide you to a price. But what we want to do now is just, enable you to put in whatever hourly rate that you would like to charge, and that's then going to help you to guide you to the market value. Custom products and services. So yeah, this kind of comes back to, now we're in a user profile or an individual profile. So this is not the company. So we're picturing that and in addition to like the hire button, where companies could inquire about employing you, or the contracting option as well, you could potentially create your own custom products and features, just like you would on another shop building type website. So your profile could be linked with your e-commerce. Here you can, let's just say, you might be offering photorealistic renderings, and clients can click on the view button. It would open up a product page about this particular service. You could have some basic information about that. You could have a PDF brochure about your rendering services, examples of past rendering projects. the various pricing segments, and obviously this buy now e-commerce environment where you could be accepting credit card payments or pre-authorized debit payments, like essentially electronic funds transfers. Job ads and job projects. So this comes to the opportunity zone of the platform. Excuse me a second. So companies would be able to come to the opportunity section, companies and individuals, and create a post about some sort of new either job post, if it was relating an employment opportunity, or a project post, if it was just related to a one-off contractor type relationship. If it was a job opportunity, that would link in with the new map feature that we're wanting to build, so that you get a feel for, okay, where's that job located? There might even be the potential for employment contracts to be uploaded. You could do e-signatures on the platform. It could keep that employment contract on everyone's profile as a way to formally keep the agreement between people as well. And that type of relationship would then link in with payroll. So this kind of gets into the software as a service and building software into the platform. So if you've just hired a new employee, maybe you could use the software to help pay those new employees. You could link in the people that are working for you. Obviously, put in their basic contact information, their bank account details that you're going to be making their salary payments to, what their deductions are with the CRA or the IRS as well in the US, and potentially we could build this simple payroll software. Another option here for payroll is to do an API integration with QuickBooks. Now, we've identified that basically 90% of the companies that use CAD/CAM use QuickBooks. So some sort of integration with QuickBooks, not only from an accounting point of view, but also maybe we could tap into their payroll services as well. So that might be useful just because everyone's already using QuickBooks. Invoicing. So another software that we're looking to build is just some very simple invoicing software. That could be available to employees or companies. Any user group could kind of use that, and it's pretty straightforward. You could do some quoting, confirmations on the job, do the invoicing, and once again accept payment via credit card or electronic funds transfer if you prefer that sort of payment method. Time tracking project management, sort of as part of the platform right now, we have a simple time tracking type software, and we're looking to adjust and enable that to be applied to any type of work. So, if you're just wanting to keep track of your hours in a very simple time tracking software, that would be potentially found on the platform as well. And what we're picturing is you could take that time tracking, it could also be fed into some sort of project management software. So you could create this project management board, obviously put a new project name in, project number. As a company, you could be assigning people to certain tasks. You could be giving it a budget, and it would start to track the time and budget for the people working on that project. And potentially even there could be like a Gantt chart type experience where you can start assigning tasks and deadlines and scope to days and months. And finally, the integrations and mobile friendliness. So currently, we're already integrated with Stripe, and they're the partner that we would continue to probably use for enabling people to accept credit card payments and electronic funds transfers, but also integrating with QuickBooks. And that would be, not only to get kind of financial information back into the platform so you could easily keep track of your company or personal, activity, but also to, easily access your QuickBooks invoices. It could be feeding bills, like if you're receiving a bill from a contractor about some work that they've just done for you, it could be then easily transferred into QuickBooks for easy reconciliation. And finally, we want to make the platform a little bit more mobile friendly. So right now it's, if you're trying to access it on a mobile phone, it just doesn't work in that format. So we're trying to improve on that experience. As we are building the software into the platform, it would be great if that was accessible on mobile, particularly things like time tracking. And that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah. Thanks, Andrew. It's a lot to cover, but
to cover.
Maybe,
Lots
maybe
of
we could,
ideas.
yeah, for sure. And maybe what we'd like to do is just to open up this sort of QA or a Q&A, space, and just hear what you have to say. If you have any comments, does that resonate with you? Do you see any potential in using these features? Because again, these are very preliminary ideas. Some of them already in development, but of course, in the next few months, we'll be putting some effort into actually, make them real and introduce them to the platform. So now it would be a good time to have this discussion, and that's why we wanted to present that to you all today. So yeah, does anyone have any comments about the things we are pitching today? Like, how does that feel?
Does some of these ideas work for you guys as people using the platform? Like, could you see yourself using it? As a simple kind of yes/no answer.
Yeah, we have Ryan's typing something there, so just give it a second. And again, what we want to be doing is just oh, sorry, there's a question from Ryan. Yeah, so Ryan is asking about Stripe. So have they implemented a flat fee for their service? So he's just curious to hear more about that. Yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate the questions and for joining us. So yeah, maybe we could touch on Stripe and talk a little bit about the e-commerce, Andrew, and talk about their fees and what sort of potential of, yeah, maybe you can start with that and I can jump in to add a little bit.
It's pretty simple. To accept payments via Stripe, they charge 3% essentially. It's kind of, if it's like 2.7% plus a 0.3, a 30-cent charge. So it's like, roughly it works out to be 3% to do that transfer.
It can potentially reduce depending on the size of your, the company or the platform. So we can potentially negotiate with them directly to have a lower fee, right? So that is a possibility. It's just not a reality right now, just maybe due to the scale that we're in. And
I think it's important though, like, we wouldn't necessarily be enforcing Stripe. You wouldn't have to have or receive payment via Stripe. If you are offering your own services, like, doing measure ups or, doing a 3D model for someone, and you just wanted to have them send you a check, you could use the invoicing software, send them an invoice, and have at the bottom of the invoice whatever your preferred payment method is. You wouldn't necessarily have to use the e-commerce component to it, right?
Yeah.
It's just a convenience factor. Like, maybe if you, as we're essentially a global platform, if you're working with someone in a different country, sending a check becomes pretty limited, right? So that's the only way to get paid is via some of these e-commerce integrations.
Yeah. Yes, we also have Arpit asking when will the platform be live for professionals? So yeah, maybe just referencing what we are presenting here, I assume. So yeah, we're aiming to, well, we're breaking this sort of these ideas into rollout phases. Basically, we want to, in the next couple of months, to have a basic framework for the social media, rework of user profiles, company profiles, and those basic functionalities done. So still within this year. And then for the next few months, we'll be focusing on each one of those specific features. So like project management, payroll, and time tracking, and so on. So that's the sort of the idea for now. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thank you guys for the questions. Appreciate that. And yeah, I also have Jacqueline is typing a question.
John, have you shared the feedback link?
Not yet. Yeah, I'll just maybe I'll put that towards the end. Yeah, I'll be sharing two links. Basically, one if anyone would like to book a meeting directly with us, just for a one-to-one chat, you can do so through that link. And the second link is that we have a feedback form. So if you have any specific ideas or even just a general comment or anything, you can just send that form to us. And we certainly go through every feedback, and yeah, we're constantly doing these feedback customer discovery loops. So we just want to make sure we're developing something that's making sense and people actually want to be using. So yeah, and then again, that idea of the webinar is just to get your involvement as well, your opinion, and we go from there, sort of building this together. Yeah, maybe I can just drop the links now here. Let me just copy them. This one, yeah, so this first link is just to book a meeting with us. Yeah, so we have a comment from Erica. She says that, yeah, she likes the direction we're heading in. Yeah, that's great to hear, Erica. Thank you so much.
Right.
Jacqueline is asking, are these changes to attract more companies to the site? And yeah, the short answer is definitely yes. I think we sort of want to expand the capabilities of the platform and bring new opportunities in. And so by enabling companies to exist on the platform, it allows them to do that.
Yeah, providing more value for companies, more reason to kind of use the platform, like actually providing them a user experience in their own way. Right now it's pretty limiting for a company. You basically create this account and that enables you to engage with people. Great, but it sort of stops there, right? So you don't have a public profile as a company. You can't share your work. You can only engage with contractors, right? There's no employment opportunities. You can't hire employees on the platform. It sort of goes on and on, right? So it's providing more value for companies so that they use the platform more, and that will then bring more opportunities to the individuals who are using the platform. Yeah, I think it ties in with brand as well, John. So this kind of, we are being perceived as something that maybe we are not, right? Cad Cow was a brand that was basically about outsourcing at the end of the day. When we first started Cad Cow, we were an outsourcing company. Companies could come to us and we would do drafting support services. But as we pivoted to being this platform, and as we're now sort of continuing the evolution into a network, Cad Cow sort of becomes less and less relevant, right? So
yeah.
Companies are often sometimes a little confused or don't know what we do as a company because it just doesn't resonate with what they picture Cad Cow to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that's another thing that we'll be focusing on next is just on the rebranding component, and we'll be pitching that to you as well, just to get your thoughts on it. But the overall idea is that we're just this white labeled platform. We don't want to have our brand so strong that it's on top of your own personal or company brand. So that's why we're making these decisions to, even with the URLs, so your name or the company name comes first. And whatever name we decide for the company next needs to also be a bit more neutral. And so, yeah, these are the ideas for the rebranding component. But yeah, we have a follow-up question from Erica, just asking, how are we marketing to these companies? Yeah, so this is a good point. I mean, maybe you can, since you're more heading the marketing, Andrew, can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, email marketing has been the core of our marketing efforts, and just us trying to keep top of mind with people. So just reaching out, literally phone calling, emailing, touching base with clients.
Yeah.
We've dabbled with social media. It's, to be honest, not very effective to actually generate new business. When it comes to actually winning over new clients, word of mouth referrals is still the king in the industry. Like, we've had some great clients that have literally just passed our name on to their own personal network, colleagues, friends, and that's how they have found us. We don't have a huge budget to be pumping ads on social media or across the internet. So yeah, marketing is pretty simple.
Yeah. And talking about the budget, I think we're focusing the budget that we currently have more on the development of these components and features. We actually have now 2 internal developers helping us with the platform, which is great. And we basically want to be focusing the funds that we have available to make that happen, to make all these changes viable. But yeah, word of mouth has been increasingly becoming more apparent to us. I think as we become a bit more known and people have been working with us, we see that we're slowly growing our network of.
CAD/CAO is sort of a name that is recognized in the industry, right? And it's more and more people are just becoming familiar with that brand, which is great. And we're not necessarily going to, remove CAD/CAO. It's just the platform might become its own brand. So CAD/CAO would still exist and probably still link through to the platform, but the platform could stand alone as its own brand and product.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the other thing is, as we go through this development phase, we just want to get the community of users and you guys to participate and be actively engaging with us so we can keep building it. I think this is just the beginning on this new platform to create something very meaningful and that resonates with people. I mean, even Andrew and I, we want to be in this platform, using this platform and be part of it as well. I think that's another fundamental that we haven't touched on, but it's just like we're sort of behind the scenes, developing it, but we're not actually living the reality of the platform. And I think for us, it's going to be good to have that experience. So yeah, Jacqueline is commenting that her husband heard someone on the plane last night mentioning CAD/CAO. So that's
really?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Hopefully some good things, but
Yeah. And I mean, economically in Canada, if we want to zoom out really big picture, if there's sort of questions about like how opportunities kind of find their way onto CAD/CAO to then trickle down to people to actually obtain those opportunities, the last 12 months or more have just been economically very difficult, in Canada in particular. I could list a whole line of different economic events that have happened over the last 12 months. So just the industry has just been very slow and sluggish, and the opportunities just haven't been coming through. And that's partially it's because the market has changed, and for instance, employment, like companies are more interested in just employing people right now, or the employees that they have aren't even being kept busy enough. So we were kind of like a surplus staffing solution. Like if your firm had more work that it could handle with its current staff, you could start to look for new staffing solutions and new people on the CAD-COW platform. But with companies just being so quiet, they're not needing that extra surplus staffing solution. But having said that, if you are a company and you've got employees, you could be accessing the payroll software or the time tracking software. Or, if you're looking to hire a new employee, which is sort of becoming more and more the norm rather than remote access contractors, you could find new employees on the platform. So we're trying to diversify the opportunities for individuals and companies. Try to adapt to the change in the market, to the economic state, and yeah, just become more diverse.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we might have a couple more questions coming in, Andrew. Just
Okay.
give it a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so Jacqueline is just adding, like, are we trying to shift, are we trying to shift to new companies, maybe smaller? And yeah, I mean, definitely, yes, not necessarily focusing on just large companies. I think
we've never been focused on large or small.
Yeah, actually we've been more successful working with sole practitioners and smaller firms currently.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we want to enable. Like, even if you're a designer and you want to start your own business, you can do so on the platform by creating a company account, start offering your services. And the idea is that you can activate the features you need, and then you can make those integrations with QuickBooks, or you can use the software we have in the platform and just make that more viable. Yeah, so Erica is also adding another question. So for the future, are we wanting to focus more on individuals versus companies? And I think maybe you can jump on this, Andrew, but I think, yes, I think the focus is focusing on the people, right? So allowing them to connect and create new opportunities, and companies will coexist in this sort of environment, the network environment as well.
It would be part of the whole network. Like, you as an individual, you are naturally connected to different companies. You might be the owner of this one, you might be the employee of that one, you might contract to that one, right? And creating that kind of ecosystem where you can like link, not in real life, is not only just in real life, but on the platform with those companies. And like if you're an individual, you're employed by someone, but maybe you do paintings in your spare time, and you want a new avenue to sell your paintings or your craft or something, you can potentially create a company profile for that type of offering and link it with your personal profile and sell those services or products, or sell your art, crafts, whatever it might be. Or you might do 3D renderings in your spare time, and you can do that. Or maybe you're just kind of you do a bit of moonlighting, a bit of freelance drafting in your spare time. You've got a couple of colleagues, and you could access the invoicing and the time tracking and kind of offer that service via the platform.
Yeah, we have another comment from Jacqueline. So contractors or designers who don't have drafting capabilities. So not sure if I understand that comment. So let me just read the other.
I think we picture this as well, kind of starting to diversify outside architecture and interior design as well. And, different types of people and professionals could start having profiles.
Yeah.
If that sort of relates to her question.
Yeah, let us know, Jacqueline. I don't know if we're answering that correctly. We also have Arpit saying he's registered as a professional and just waiting for some new opportunities to work with one of our amazing firms
Yeah.
around Canada or US. And yes,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Arpit. I think we just want to give that ability and put that in your hands, basically, so you can be connecting with these companies and reaching out to people
Hmm.
and putting yourself out there. I know currently we're very much involved in that process of connections and booking meetings with clients and professionals. So that's one of the things we want to put in the hands of the people. And so yeah, Ryan's asking, I think Arpit, if he's registered, maybe he can help. Yeah, I mean, that would be great, Ryan. Yeah, so Jacqueline was just saying that, yeah, she was just adding that comment to the other question. So maybe I can read the whole thing. Uh, are we trying to shift to new companies, maybe smaller contractors or designers who don't have drafting capabilities? So yeah, I think, I don't know if we answered that already, but yeah, we don't necessarily want to be completely attached to the architecture, interior design, and engineering industries. I think we want to just be a more neutral platform. So you could be, I don't know, if you have some digital art or if you have
Yep.
branding skills or anything like that, you could just be offering those services on the platform.
Yeah. Is there anything else, John?
Yeah, so Erica is asking, what is the reason that we want to diversify outside of the design field?
Yeah, I think it's just the natural progression of things, really. We could stay in this kind of niche industry, but as you become more of a network, you get interest from people in different industries and different markets, and it would just naturally, I think, start to diversify itself.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily that we would suddenly start to pivot into different markets. It would just, there would be no restriction on who could create a profile. um, we currently take people through a validation type experience. That would still be part of it. So if you wanted to offer professional services and monetize your account, then the validation part of that you're creating your profile and offering those services would still be part of it. So anyone could potentially just create a profile, but if you want to start monetizing that account, then we would want to still validate you and your profile.
yeah,
We want to still kind of offer the reassurance to companies that if you're going to work with someone, they are who they say they are, and hopefully they've got the experience and the skills that they claim to have, and that's important.
yeah. Yeah, we also have a new comment from Jader. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. So he's saying, when I registered, I found the options were limited. I am an
Hmm.
architect, but I don't do drafting. I do estimating. So I don't know if that would
Oh,
be a
okay.
problem with the networking in my case. So yeah, good
Yeah.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah, estimating is kind of a niche on a niche, right? We're in the niche industry of architecture and interior design, and yeah, within that is a bit of a niche. But yeah, I mean, it just fundamentally the clients, the companies that come to CAD/CAM are predominantly looking for construction documentation help using Revit. I mean, that's what it basically boils down to, uh, and although we're pushing other things like specification writing and cost estimates and measure ups and renderings and other things, the core is construction documentation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's another reason why diversifying into different areas would be beneficial to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this new version of, I wouldn't say CAD/CAM, but the platform will enable you to, put yourself out there, say, okay, yeah, I do this, I do estimates, or estimates in clients can see that and connect with you. And because currently our platform is designed in a way that doesn't necessarily allow them to see that you're able to do that, because we only have key specific categories and experience levels and industries there. So yeah, just yeah, we also have John with some questions here. So can you expand more into civil engineering, like transportation or site design focus? And do you offer Bentley products like Open Roads Designer or MicroStation?
Yeah. I mean, there's adjacent markets to architecture and interior design. Like, John and I are architects, and that's why we have started this business, as an outsourcing company for architects, and that kind of, eventuated interior design companies. But obviously, there's lots of adjacent types of companies that could be benefiting from accessing staffing solutions, services, products in all different industries. And yeah, the engineering industry is one we've already been working with. Like, yeah, there are engineers on the CAD/CAM platform already, and companies have accessed them at various times. And yes, you can find Bentley software, people with Bentley software. To be honest, I haven't looked for that specifically on the platform recently. But the idea would be, yes, that engineers with Bentley software experience should be able to be located on the platform.
Yeah. Also, Jader is just adding, what if I want to get to learn within the company? I mean, I could lead the skills. Yeah, maybe I don't mind if you could. Oh, you can learn the skills. Yeah, so let me just rephrase that. So what if I want to get to learn within the company, meaning I could learn the skills? So I guess while working in the company.
Just upskilling yourself to be better placed in the industry. I mean, a learning center, I mean, even personally, like I have to keep up my professional development points, as an architect. And, it's, unless you go to a conference every year, it is tricky to keep those points up to date. And there are free options on the internet to do so, but it's not always interesting content, and it's not always fresh content. So even myself, like, I need to access learning content to keep my professional skills up to date, right? So yeah, some sort of learning center, John and I have definitely identified, could bring value to the platform and to the people who use the platform. And yeah, it could be anything from like professional development points, or it could just be how to use Revit kind of courses that you could end up with certificates. Yes, all of this is something we have on our kind of extensive list of ideas and features that we could be building into the platform. So yeah, it's definitely something that's on our radar.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all the questions so far. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could share those links, John.
Yeah.
So if anyone has any more thoughts, John's going to share a link. It's just a feedback form. You can leave feedback anonymously as well if you want. Or you can, leave your name and contact details, and maybe we could reach out to you. But yeah, if you just wanted to provide anonymous feedback, you should be able to do that via that link as well. And yeah, if you want to jump on a call with us, do a one-on-one session, that's also a possibility. We love meeting with people one-to-one to get your kind of candid feedback on this type of stuff. And John's going to be sharing that booking meeting link. So yeah, well, I hope you found this interesting. Yeah, thank you so much for being part of our journey as we continue to evolve as a startup. Yeah, we couldn't do it without people like you that take an interest in us and real world users of the platform. We hope we can keep building value and bringing opportunities for everyone involved. Yeah, just thank you so much. We're very grateful.
Yeah, this has been a great webinar. We'll continue to do that, and yeah, keep you all posted as we we go through this journey. And yeah, thank you so much for all the comments, every interaction. It's been great. And yeah, we just have some comments coming in. Yeah, thank you, Arpit. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susan.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Yeah, thank you, Enrique. Yeah, thank you, Jader. Thank you, Erica. Yeah,
Thanks,
really
everyone.
appreciate that. Yeah, just acknowledging here. Yeah, thank you, Lizanne. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Yeah, you guys take care, and yeah, look forward to reconnect soon. Yeah, cheers.
Have a good day, everyone. See ya.
Bye.